Imagine ordering almost anything you want and having it delivered to your doorstep within days or even hours. Today, millions of people do exactly that. But just 30 years ago, the idea seemed impossible. The company that changed the way the world shops started in a tiny garage. Its founder left a high-paying Wall Street job, drove across America with his wife, and bet everything on an idea that most people thought would fail. That founder was Jeff Bezos, and the company was Amazon. From selling books online to becoming one of the most valuable companies in history, Amazon's journey is one of the greatest business stories ever told. This is the story of Jeff Bezos, Amazon, and the lessons behind a trillion-dollar empire. Welcome to BizStory English. Let's begin. Jeffrey Preston Bezos was born on January 12, 1964, in Albuquerque, New Mexico. His mother, Jackie, was only 17 years old when he was born. His biological father left the family when Jeff was still a baby. A few years later, Jackie married Miguel Bezos, a Cuban immigrant who had arrived in America alone as a teenager. Miguel adopted Jeff and gave him the family name Bezos. Jeff grew up fascinated by how things worked. As a child, he would take apart toys, household gadgets, and electronic devices just to understand them. His parents quickly realized he was different. One famous story tells how young Jeff dismantled his crib because he preferred sleeping in a regular bed. He loved science fiction and spent countless hours reading books. His grandfather played a major role in shaping his mindset. During summers on his grandfather's ranch in Texas, Jeff learned practical problem solving. If something broke, they fixed it themselves. This experience taught him a lesson that would stay with him forever. Problems are opportunities waiting for solutions. In high school, Jeff excelled academically. He graduated as valedictorian and later attended Princeton University. There, he studied electrical engineering and computer science. In 1986, he graduated with honors. The world was entering the computer age, and Jeff Bezos was perfectly positioned for it. After Princeton, Bezos worked in technology and finance. His intelligence and work ethic quickly earned him promotions. By the early 1990s, he had joined a hedge fund called D.E. Shaw. The company was one of the most innovative financial firms on Wall Street. Jeff rose rapidly through the ranks. At just 30 years old, he became one of the youngest senior vice presidents in the company's history. He had everything most people dream about: a prestigious career, a high salary, a bright future. But then he discovered something that changed his life: the Internet. In 1994, Internet usage was growing at an astonishing rate of approximately 2,300% per year. Jeff couldn't ignore that number. He began researching business opportunities online. The more he learned, the more convinced he became that the Internet would transform the world. The question was simple: what product could be sold successfully online? His answer would change history. Jeff created a list of products that could potentially be sold on the Internet. He analyzed music, software, electronics, and books. Books stood out immediately. There were millions of titles available. No physical bookstore could stock them all, but an online store could. The idea seemed obvious: create the world's largest bookstore. There was only one problem. To build it, Jeff would have to leave his secure Wall Street job. Most people would have stayed. Jeff did not. He used what he called a regret minimization framework. He imagined himself at 80 years old. Would he regret trying and failing, or regret never trying at all? The answer was clear. In 1994, Jeff quit his job. Together with his wife Mackenzie, he drove from New York to Seattle. During the trip, Jeff worked on the business plan while Mackenzie drove. The journey became one of the most famous road trips in business history. Amazon had not yet launched, but the dream had begun. Jeff initially considered naming the company Cadabra, but he later changed it. He chose Amazon. Like the Amazon River, he wanted the company to become the largest of its kind. The company operated from a rented house and garage in Seattle. The office desks were famously made from cheap wooden doors. Every dollar mattered. The first employees worked long hours. Packages were prepared by hand. Orders were packed on the floor. Nobody knew whether the company would survive. In July 1995, Amazon officially launched. At first, sales were small. Then, something incredible happened. Orders started arriving from all over America. Soon, they were coming from dozens of countries. Amazon's mission was simple: offer more selection, lower prices, and greater convenience. Customers loved it. Within months, growth exploded. The tiny online bookstore was becoming something much bigger. In 1997, Amazon went public. Its IPO price was $18 per share before stock splits. Many investors remained skeptical. After all, Amazon was losing money. Critics questioned Jeff's strategy. Why spend so aggressively? Why prioritize growth over profit? Jeff believed market leadership mattered more. He repeatedly told shareholders to focus on the long term. Amazon expanded beyond books, music, movies, electronics, toys, and many other products. Revenue grew rapidly. But then came a crisis. The dot-com bubble burst in 2000. Hundreds of internet companies collapsed. Investors feared Amazon would be next. Some analysts predicted bankruptcy. Amazon's stock lost most of its value. The company faced enormous pressure. But Jeff Bezos remained calm. He cut costs, improved operations, and focused relentlessly on customers. Amazon survived when many competitors disappeared. The company emerged stronger than ever. One principle guided nearly every Amazon decision: customer obsession. Jeff often said competitors should not be the primary focus. Customers should. Amazon introduced customer reviews, easy returns, personalized recommendations, and increasingly faster shipping. Some ideas seemed risky, others appeared expensive, but they improved the customer experience, and that created loyalty. Jeff even left an empty chair in meetings. The chair represented the customer. It reminded employees who mattered most. This obsession became one of Amazon's greatest competitive advantages. While others focused on profits first, Amazon focused on creating value. The profits eventually followed. In 2005, Amazon launched one of the most important products in its history, Amazon Prime. Customers paid an annual fee in exchange for faster shipping. Many executives worried the program would lose money. Shipping costs were expensive. The risks were enormous. But Bezos believed convenience would drive loyalty. He was right. Prime transformed customer behavior. Members purchased more frequently. They stayed longer, and they became deeply connected to Amazon's ecosystem. Over time, Prime expanded. Movies, music, cloud storage, exclusive deals. The subscription became one of the most successful programs ever created. While people focused on online shopping, Bezos was quietly building another giant. Amazon Web Services, known as AWS. Launched in 2006, AWS allowed companies to rent computing power over the internet. Today, this seems normal. Back then, it was revolutionary. Businesses no longer needed to purchase expensive servers. They could simply use Amazon's infrastructure. Startups loved it. Large corporations adopted it. The cloud computing industry exploded. AWS eventually became one of Amazon's most profitable divisions. Many of today's biggest websites and apps rely on cloud services inspired by this model. It was one of the smartest strategic decisions in business history. Over the following years, Amazon expanded into nearly every area imaginable. Smart devices, streaming, artificial intelligence, logistics, healthcare, physical retail, and much more. The company became one of the world's largest employers. Amazon's revenue continued climbing year after year. From just a few $100,000 in its early days, annual revenue eventually reached hundreds of billions of dollars. Jeff Bezos became one of the richest individuals in modern history. But the journey was never easy. Amazon faced criticism, competition, regulatory challenges, and constant pressure to innovate. Yet Bezos maintained the same philosophy. Think long-term, take calculated risks, and focus relentlessly on customers.
What can we learn from Jeff Bezos and Amazon? Lesson 1. Think long-term. Many people focus on immediate results. Great builders focus on decades. Lesson 2. Take intelligent risks. Leaving Wall Street was terrifying, but the biggest risk was doing nothing. Lesson 3. Obsess over customers. When customers win, businesses often win too. Lesson 4. Be willing to experiment. Not every idea succeeds, but innovation requires failure. And Lesson 5. Never stop learning. Jeff Bezos remained curious throughout his life. The same curiosity that led a young boy to take apart toys eventually helped him build one of the most influential companies in history. From a garage startup to a global empire, Amazon's story proves that extraordinary success often begins with a simple idea and the courage to pursue it. Jeff Bezos didn't just build a company. He helped reshape how the world shops, reads, watches, and uses technology. If you enjoyed this business story, subscribe to BizStory English for more inspiring journeys of the world's greatest entrepreneurs and companies. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next story.